I could be wrong. There we go. Demon Hide Sash. Yay! We now have that going for us. We'll keep this just in case we decide to go back to it. But that gives us 4 slots on the belt as well. I'm going to throw those away, because I don't plan on actually using them. But yeah, it's tough early on to decide what to keep and what not to keep, because you're still in that kind of stage of... One, you probably don't know what some of the items do or what some of the effects are, which is perfectly normal. And B, you have a situation of you don't know what's going to be better for your build. Because if you get, let's say, I'm trying to think of a good example of it, but basically sometimes if you get a certain item, you may want weapon A, but if you get another item, you may want weapon B. Because they'll just be better. But if you have to carry around both weapon A and weapon B because you found them both early on, and you kind of have to guess which one's the right one to keep, it does get a little bit frustrating. 100% recommend Go Mule, though. Because that will... you basically can unload your stash onto Go Mule and then decide later whether you honestly want to keep something or not. My Go Mule is neurotically organized. So I have thousands upon thousands of items in there. I forget how many thousand just runes I have. Just from hoarding them from... And a lot of my runes, not all of them, but a good chunk of them come from actually just playing through the game again and again on the channel, so... On the YouTubes. And it's hard for me to say, like, you should definitely keep item A or item B, because different playstyles generally do better with different kinds of items as well. I mean, there are just generally good ones, like the ones I told you are just generally good to have. But whenever it comes to, say, like, between... I'm trying to think of a good example. We've seen that one before. But whenever it comes to, say, the difference between... Man, I'm really having trouble thinking of a good specific example. Let's say the difference between a meditation mercenary and a conviction mercenary, which would be insight versus infinity. There are some playstyle choices there, like, do you invest in energy? If you don't invest in energy, then insight does get some more weight to it. If you are mostly elemental damage, infinity has some weight to it. If you're having trouble hitting, infinity has some weight to it. For those of you that are wondering, conviction does lower enemy defense. Bonk and a bonk. Good job. And runes are actually, not runes, charms are actually really hard to know which to keep and what to leave. Of course, runes are as well. And I just realized that has a path down on it. But yeah, runes are hard to decide whether you keep them or not as well, especially considering they don't stack in vanilla Diablo 2. They eat up a lot of room, and whenever you don't have the rune words you want memorized, it can get really dicey. And just because I don't mention a rune word does not mean it's bad. There are a lot of rune words that get overlooked. Phoenix is one that was painfully overlooked for a long time. So people have sort of turned around and said, oh, this is actually a reasonable thing in some, like, niche builds. I actually use a Phoenix. I have a Phoenix shield, and it's one of my more used shields. Grief was overlooked for a long time before it became pretty much the go-to. Everybody loves this rune word. Sword. Axe. Actually, no, it's sword. It's phase blade that people always put it in. Let's see. More zeal. And we'll probably... Do we respec after Diablo or do we respec after Baal? I think we respec after... Let's see, how much damage do we... What's our base damage on this? 40 to 132. I think we respec after Diablo. And go physical. Switch over to the Conviction Amulet. Go Fanaticism. We basically Fanaticism, Concentration, Might, Conviction. Holy Shock will become less useful at that point. But it's still nice. It adds a good deal of lightning damage to your melee attack. Tesladins are so much fun, even if they're budget Tesladins. Obviously, budget Tesladins don't just completely wreck all of hell difficulty, but they do good. The full price Tesladin, where you have everything optimal, can just walk its way through hell difficulty. So, on Player's 8, it is one of those builds. Whereas, like, the Trap Assassin, Player's 4, give or take, is where it kind of, like, settles out at. With, like, suboptimal gear. With optimal gear, it doesn't improve that much. It just increases its kill speed a little bit against non-lightning immunes. Jagged Star could be better. We actually haven't seen Moonfall. We haven't seen Baronar Star either, but that's an elite. Let's identify you. Moonfall. We'll look at it in just a second. Ravenfrost is interesting, not amazing. You have double ignore target defense. We have level. We should have like a fairly high level Grim Ward. Level 16 Grim Ward. Grim Ward is funny but not useful. it's one of those. 80 to 124, reduced fire resistance, reduced lightning resistance. Ooh. That is worse on our resists. Worse on our plus skills. Amazing for our blocking. We now have 28 versus 14. Basically doubles our blocking. I might consider that one. We'll see. But yeah, there's a lot of just like mundane items that are amazing as well. If you are using Go Mule, by the way, save all your gems. Battle Dart could be fun. Not sure how useful it'll be, but it can be fun. Let's see. All the little buggers go away. Let's go ahead and pop the seal while we're here. Might as well fight everything all at once so we can get through it a little bit quicker. I am slightly curious if runewords will end up working with... not runewords. If the mods... Since they say it's built on top of Diablo 2, I do wonder if mods will work with it. The current mods. Let's see. Not better than what we got. Cute, but not good. But it just kind of comes with practice to decide. When you may notice I generally am pretty quick at saying this is good, this is crap. I may like miss a stat here and there, but that's because I know how this character is going to play just through experience. And you'll get there eventually as well. It's just like you get used to it after a while. It's true of any game, though. You eventually get completely used to how the character should play and all that kind of stuff. And there's like, you know what works well with it. Especially if you go through and check like some build videos and stuff like that. Speaking of which, I should do my S to F list tonight as well. Bonk. These guys just really don't stand a chance. Yay. Ooh, Yari might be better. We'll see if... I don't think it got the sockets, but Hone Sudan +1 Paladin skills, enhanced damage, makes it not bad. He could definitely use some more damage, but then he'd lose concentration because it's actually on the scythe. How much damage does he do with this? A decent amount more. He gets resists, but that hurts my damage, so... Nah, we'll stick with what he's got. Might keep the Hone Sudan for hell difficulty. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just charge in. Nothing too threatening here. Guys. Surround me! Let me leech life from you non-stop. Leech is very important, by the way. Despite it not being able to leech from everything, it is very important in that, yeah, it'll keep you alive, especially as a Frenzy Barb. Doubly so whenever you're fighting bosses. Not even death? My Death Frenzy Barbarian does that. Let's see. We just have level 15 Holy Shock that we can just turn on. Same level that's on our shield. Let's go there. And let's go respec. Is this any good? Ignore target defense is not bad, but we already have that twice. Enhanced damage. Doesn't have resists. Otherwise, that would be okay. Although, could that be okay on the mercenary is a question. Gets rid of his redemption aura, though, so we're going to keep what he's got. Bonk. Go to the next act. Yay, and I forgot, we got +2 skills. I always do that. I always forget that to turn in the Iswal quest. We're going to turn that in. We're going to respec. We're going to go Fanaticism, which means we want to be on... Where's that amulet? There it is. We want to be on that. And that. We're going straight into the physical end of things. We're going to deal with some physical immunes as well, probably.
Back, my friend.
And we're at 160 up there? Okay. The first Diablo you really played was Diablo 3 and mained a Demon Hunter, so you like fast builds? Okay, I can understand that. You might like the Assassin. She has an ability called Burst of Speed. That is quite lovely. It's a pretty powerful skill. You put 1 point into Burst of Speed, and then you can just build kind of around it, and it helps you run super fast, super reliably. And she is ranged, though, so... Of course, if you went with Demon Hunter, you're used to ranged, so... Let's go ahead and dump into that, max that out. Offensive auras, bonk, 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 bonk. Max out Fanaticism. We're going to be using that as our main aura. And that leaves us 28 points to just kind of play around with. Let's go ahead and put it into Sacrifice. Yes, our damage went down, but it's mostly physical damage now. So 6219, 7105, mostly physical. We are fast as hell. Do we stick with the meteor armor? And do we stick with the... I think we do stick with the rings. Or at least one of them. They've got +1 Paladin skills. This has +1 all skills. I think the Angelic Halo might be better. Or the Dwarf Star. Let's look at the two of them side by side. 67, 6753, 7105. That's just because this has a bunch of elemental damage. The next character you're doing is a Lightning Javazon. Lightning Javazons are pretty solid. There's a few tricks to playing them. Early on, I generally just go for any replenishing javelin I can find, and I'll keep that until I find something good. Either rare Amazon-specific javelins, or so for the plus skills, of course, or a good unique. Replenishing is super important for the Javazon. The Assassin is usually the character that I recommend people start playing the game on. Is it going to be the best magic finder at the end of the game? No. Once you have like top tier gear, the Assassin kind of falls off, but getting through your first time, she can do so much work with traps that it's just insane. She's a lot better than people give her credit for. I would say she's a better starter character than the Sorceress, and that's what most people usually recommend. Kind of surprised Dwarf Star is that little bit of damage. 6735. 6753. I think we go with the Angelic Halo here. Just for resistance purposes. This gives us more elemental damage, so if we are going through an area with a lot of physical immunes, we can go for it, but not super attached to it. That gives us resistances versus... Let's just double check everything. Meteor plus 2 all skills with some mana leech versus 300% enhanced damage and some life leech. Do we actually have mana leech on anything besides that? I'm not sure we do. I'm looking, but I'm not seeing mana leech. It could just be on one of these, I'm just not seeing it. Not that we really need a lot of mana leech, because we do a decent chunk of physical damage. But it is nice. Could go with that for now. Oh, I forgot. We turned bright orange with that. Nah. We'll stick with blue. A little bit more respectable looking. So now we go into Act 5. But yeah, the Assassin is it's just honestly a really good starting character. Do we bother keeping that? We'll keep it for the Holy Shock just in case. The gloves can go away. We found the God gloves. So that gives us a little bit of room in here to kind of mess around. Let's see that. So that'll fill up that row. That'll go there. And that should give us... Yeah, now we have enough room to put the Honsu down in there. This narrows the damage range a little bit. I do think I prefer this, though. Because the resistances. Resistances are God. That is maxed. That's max, that's max. I guess we could go Holy Shield. I don't really want to. Could max out some of our resists a little bit higher. But yeah, this is one of the situations you run into whenever you are at high-end gear as well. As like whenever you've totally like tightened up a character, you really don't need all the skill points. There's extra stuff just kind of floating around. Obviously, we're not doing that here. It's just because we have so much junk on us that... We could do Holy Shock backup. Since we don't have a way to deal with physical immunes. But I'm not sure we'd have enough skill points to actually do that. We're going to get 3 more, so that'll put us at 12. Plus probably 20 more levels, which will put us at 32 points total, which means we'd get this up and not have too much into other stuff, unfortunately. We do have a level 17 Holy Shock that we can just kind of swap to, though. So F1, F2. That's level 17, which isn't great, but it'll work, and we just dump into resist lightning. And just not bother going further. So with Holy Shock, we have higher damage, but most of it lightning. So let's go up. But yeah, Randomizer, kind of cheesy. Probably pretty easy for most people to play through. Especially if you just have all the items just completely randomized. Wow. Just heal up there, Durga. You do your business. I'm not sure how many of these guys we really want to be bothering killing. I mean, yeah, we do get a bit of experience from it, but eh. And Conviction means I don't actually need the ignore target defense, by the way. Ooh, Ballista. I am always curious what the Bariza can be. Bariza Dokayanon. Fist of the Heavens on striking. It's basically Gold Strike. That's cute. Just one-shotting the things that are torturing the poor random barbarian out there. And yes, we are taking damage. That's just because, well, we can't leech from skeletons. And that's a majority of what we're fighting here. And they can punch through us. Fire arrows are a really powerful thing. And there's a reason why they just murder my face half the time. They convert physical damage to fire, first of all, and they gonna hit you. Hey, there's a ceremonial javelin. T-God, not T-Gods. I forget what you're called. Titan's Revenge. And it's got +5 all skills, too. That would be insane on a Javazon. But Titan's Revenge is actually the javelins you're looking for like, endgame on a Javazon. There are variant builds, like my Charge Strike Amazon, which uses Thunderstrike, or Thunderstroke, which are the elite javelins. And it's extremely powerful. I would say it's more powerful than a Lightning Fury Amazon. It's just harder to get going. And it requires doing melee, which is not necessarily the easiest in Hell difficulty. Melee builds tend to fall apart after Nightmare. For a lot of people. So, Cutlass. It's just because resists go down so much and you run into a lot of, like, just hard roadblocks. There's a round shield that's going to be Whitston's. No, that's not Whitston's. That's, shit, I forgot the name of it. Moser's. Tornado Wind Struck? No. Although, that actually could be better than what we're using. 180% enhanced damage, Lightning Absorb, increased attack +2 all skills. 7798 versus 6077. Yeah, definitely not better. Cold Steel Eye, not better. So yeah, Nightmare difficulty, not too bad. Not too many, like, random things to go. Yeah, without Cannot Be Frozen, Bale can't... It's not so much that it's hard, it's going to just be annoying. He's going to keep knocking you back. You're going to be chilled, which means it takes longer to get back to him. Honestly, that Malice is going to help you with that because you'll be able to damage him without even being next to him. Because just get one hit on him with that Malice and he's going to be bleeding for a while. So. And as long as he's bleeding, you're good. Because... And... If he's bleeding, it does, if I remember correctly, it does stop if you leave the area. So if you, like, go to town, it'll stop bleeding on him. But you could just, like, whack him, make him bleed, then walk away for a while. Which is not a bad strategy. It's not great, but it's not bad. It works for whenever you are having trouble fighting him. Honestly, my biggest challenge with Bale each time is his minions of destruction. That and tentacles. Tentacles can go rotten hell. The clone, Clone's usually easy enough to dispatch because it has half-life. But, yeah. And you can tell it by the position of the D on Demon, by the way. Which one's real and which one's clone. I could totally use your redemption right now, Mercenary. Get eaten by these guys. Oh, there's a Great Helm. We actually haven't seen that one yet. Bonk. Grab it. And also, if you're really worried about the damage from his Cold Wave, go ahead and get Thawing Potions. Use them beforehand. It'll boost your cold resist. So that it'll do way less to you. Increase attack speed, all resistances. Honestly, our helmet is not that amazing. I mean, it works, but it's not that amazing. Not interested in it. Although it probably does have higher damage. Oh god, yes it does have a lot higher damage. We're almost breaking 10k, and a lot of that's physical. So, cold resist 75, we're good. Bonk and bonk. Yeah, you can use thawing potions in the city. You can use thawing potions anywhere. Each thawing potion you add adds 30 seconds to the duration of the cold resistance boost. The way they work is you use a thawing potion, and for 30 seconds after using the first one, you'll have boosted cold resist. If you take, say, 10 of them, you'll have them for 5 minutes, which is 300 seconds. So, stamina potions, thawing potions, and antidote potions work that way with their resist boost. Now, it is worth noting thawing potion does not prevent you from getting chilled, but it can, if you have like some in your inventory, you could use it to take the chill off. It's not going to matter that much. Generally, they're used for... Ooh, nice. Used for boosting your cold resist against Bale and against Bale, Mephisto, and Duriel. In fact, you'll see it a lot on speedruns whenever they use the thawing potions before Duriel. Why was I not leeching from you guys? Nuke them all! Oh, it's a vertical one, dang it. But no, it'll last until you die or until the duration runs out. And unfortunately, you can't see the duration. But just trust me, if you drink 10 of them, it'll last 10 times as long. That's why sometimes on my playthroughs, you'll actually see me just force-feeding Mercenary resist potions before Duriel. Yeah, Duriel's a nightmare. He is 100% one of the ones that I recommend buying up a huge stock of thawing potions and drinking for. Because that Holy Freeze aura, that aura that's underneath him, the blue one, adds cold damage to his attacks and deals tick cold damage over time to anything near him. It's a fairly small radius, but it's still anything near him. Which results in him ripping you a new one. So, he's honestly the point that a lot of new players quit, if you're curious. From my experience, at least. I've had so many people rage and say, nah, I give up on Diablo 2 because of him. Why are we not leeching life? Do we not have life leech anymore? We might not have life leech. Yeah, we do not have life leech. Thought we had life leech. We do not have life leech. Nothing on us has life leech. That sucks.